The topic we are going to discuss today is cell membrane. It is the outermost boundary in animal cells which separates the inner cytoplasmic content of the cell from outside. While in plant cells, it is bounded by another layer which is known as the cell wall. There are different names which are used for the cell membrane, and these are surface membrane because it is present at the surface, or plasma membrane, or cytoplasmic membrane because it covers the cytoplasm of the cell. If we look at the chemical composition of the cell membrane, we see chemically it is composed of carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. Proteins make 60 to 80% of the cell membrane, while lipids constitute 20 to 40% of the cell membrane, and carbohydrates constitute a very small quantity or percentage in composition of the cell membrane, which is approximately 3%. And the type of the lipids which are present in the cell membrane, these are mostly phospholipids, which make 25% of the total lipids of cell membrane, and cholesterol, which constitute 13% of the total lipids in the cell membrane. Now, next is the model of the cell membrane. There are two models which explain the structure of the cell membrane, and these are unit membrane and fluid mosaic model. According to unit membrane, cell membrane is composed of a lipid bilayer, which is sandwiched between inner and outer layer of protein. These two yellow layers in the center are the lipid bilayers, and these are sandwiched between these two purple layers, which are indicating the protein layers. The second model which explains the structure is the fluid mosaic model, and according to fluid mosaic model, protein layers are not continuous and these are not confined to the surface of the membrane just like unit membrane, but these are embedded in the lipid layers in a mosaic manner. These pink molecules are the protein molecules which are embedded in the cell membrane or lipid bilayer, and it also contains charged pores through which the movement of the molecules takes place both by active and passive transport. According to fluid mosaic model, cell membrane also contains carbohydrates in conjunction with lipids or proteins as glycoproteins or glycolipids, and it also contains cholesterol, which is another type of the lipid. This fluid mosaic model is the most accepted one, and it is used by most of the scientists to explain the structure of the cell membrane. Now, next is the function of the cell membrane. Transport of materials is one of the vital roles it plays for the cell. It offers a barrier between the cell content and the environment, allowing only selective substances or some of the molecules to pass through it. That is the reason it is also known as differentially permeable, partially permeable, selectively permeable, or semi-permeable membrane. The substances which are lipid soluble cross it more easily than others. Therefore, it regulates the flow of materials and ions to maintain a definite gradient inside the cell. Many small molecules like gas molecules, water, glucose, which are neutral, can easily cross the cell membrane. While ions which are charged, they have difficulty in crossing the cell membrane, and they pass the cell membrane through special gates which are also made up of proteins. And other molecules pass through the cell membrane through active transport utilizing energy because of their low concentration outside the cell and high concentration inside the cell. They move by active transport utilizing large amount of energy which is produced by the cell through respiration, and it's in the form of ATP adenosine triphosphate. Here is another important point which I want to discuss, and that is the cell membrane is sensitive to heat. When we heat or boil a cell, the lipid bilayers which are present in the structure of the cell membrane, their fluidity increases and they allow more molecules to pass through it. The different organisms have different mechanisms in different atmosphere or temperature to maintain the structure of the cell membrane, thus maintaining the composition of the cell. Boiled or heat cell loses its semi-permeability of the cell membrane, and it's no more acting as a partially permeable, or it's no more maintaining the composition of the cell.